Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk to my patrons first. I'll put this on the Patreon channel and then I'll put it on the main channel after a while. There was a video that came out the other day that talked about, let's just say it was from a very popular YouTube channel, and it talked about farmers markets. Before we get into that, so let me go ahead and tell you that the next award, patron award, is going to be going out here soon. This is the Bearcat 980 single sideband CB radio. This has the ability, if you have the right antenna, to be able to listen all over the nation and probably internationally if you are in the right spot. But this is a fantastic CB radio. CB is not dead. It doesn't require a license, and this award is going to be going out to a patron very soon, so stick with us. If you're not signed up yet as a patron, you need to make sure you do that. All right. So a very popular YouTube channel came out and said that they're taking some time off and taking a year off. And it really came down to not the channel so much, but just the farmers market aspect that they've been doing. And over the years, I have seen a lot of homesteaders go down this road of figuring out, trying to juggle how they're going to make money. And a lot of them come to the conclusion incorrectly that they can make money by working at a farmer's market, but they have this land. Let's go ahead and make the land produce, and then we'll go and sell it. Years ago, my late wife Jamie and I, we were watching a documentary, and I have tried to find this documentary in the last couple of years, and I cannot locate it. If you know which one I'm talking about, please recommend it to me or leave a comment below. But this documentary, we saw this, I think it was on Netflix or something, back when we had a Netflix channel before they went completely and totally woke stupid. This documentary showed just how hard it was, near impossible, for you to make a living, to make any money, to barely even break even when selling at a farmer's market. You need a vast operation to grow a lot of things, to be able to take it to a farmer's market and then be able to walk away with some sort of profit. It's highly unlikely unless you put in a lot of money, time, and effort. And even then, it's going to only produce maybe, possibly, by chance, marginal results. And so we saw that, and we were like, that's not really something we want to do. We want to put more time. We want the homestead because we want to be able to grow our own food, but we don't think that needs to be how we make it. We're going to have to find something else. Because I have an online business, I have a portfolio. My go-to, my fallback has always been web design. And I'm trying to get out of that, so don't come to me asking me to design your website. I've designed a lot of websites for a lot of corporate clients, a lot of big name corporate giants over the years. Anyway, all that to say, that was my fallback, and I've been doing that. So then some time went by, and I started volunteering at a food pantry shortly after we moved here. And this food pantry there's a local farmer's market in town, small one. And they would bring in tons of produce I was on Tuesday. So I remember every Tuesday, the people at the farmer's market would come to the food bank after the farmer's market was over, and they would or maybe it was on Wednesday or it was always on Tuesday, but whatever their day there was, they would come in and bring these boxes of produce, all of these amazing looking vegetables, anything you could imagine that would grow in a garden or greenhouse. And the people coming into the food bank passed it all by just to go for whatever the local grocery store had thrown out in terms of, 2-day-old or 1-day-old boxes of donuts. They don't want the vegetables. They don't want all these greens, these amazing looking peppers, these squash and cucumbers. No. Is that box of donuts, do we still have any donuts left? They didn't even want it. And the people at the farmer's market couldn't sell it. And so I saw this and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad we don't do this because it's near impossible to sell at a farmer's market. Now, where I live, Northwest Arkansas, there's a liberal college town called Fayetteville nearby, about an hour or so away. And they have a farmer's market, and it's a lot bigger than the one we have in the small town near us. And even then, it's super hard. From the people I've talked to at that place, number one, it's hard to get in because they have a place, basically an insurmountable mountain of rules that you have to overcome. You have to meet all these guidelines. And if you do somehow meet all those guidelines, then you might be able to sell your stuff. And if you can pay your dues and, go through all these other hoops that you have to do. And at that point, are you really breaking even? If you're a farm somewhere way out in the middle of nowhere and you're using the gas money to get in, plus you have to pay your dues, your table fees, and all this stuff. And, your taxes, because it's a liberal college town, so you're probably going to pay taxes on all the stuff you're selling. You got to do that, And so it's like, where's the incentive? There is none. So years ago, I saw this is not worth it. And so for the last decade, I have been telling people if they want to do a farmer's market, do it as a hobby. Now, down the road, there's a lady and her husband. Now, her husband has a job. He's a contractor. He does all kinds of stuff, but she sells as a hobby, basically bread at the farmer's market, and it brings in some extra income. And I buy their bread. She makes great sourdough. And so that is fantastic to do it as a hobby. If you're going to do it as a hobby and you don't have a bunch of overhead and extra, crazy cost and a bunch of rules you have to jump through in a small town like we do, it's not as bad as like the big town like Fayetteville. But like, if you're trying to do this to make money for your homestead, to make your homestead profitable, don't do it. You're not going to make any money. You're going to burn yourself out, and you're probably going to give up on homesteading and move back to the city. And I have seen it over and over again. I'm speaking from experience here. Don't doubt me on this. I tell people, do not do farmers markets. There's no money in it. Now, again, if it's a hobby, fine. If you're just doing it to maybe to socialize a little bit and you want to be able to sell a couple things here and there, there's people who come up at the little town we have here and they drive in their pickup truck and they drop their tailgate and they got a load of berries or whatever they've grown for the season, blackberries or strawberries or something. Okay, fine. But on like the big cities, you can't even do that. They're not going to let you bring in your rusty old pickup truck. No, we want real. Go to the grocery store if that's what you want. But they don't want small time guys with their pickup trucks and tailgates down. They want you to pay these dues and they want you to have to abide by all these cottage food laws. It's ridiculous. Stop doing it. And just like the YouTube channel that I saw recently who posted about this, they're burnt out. I see these homesteaders, they'll build greenhouses and, plow up huge fields and do all of this work for very little gain. Guys, if you want to do that, fine. I don't care. It's on you. But, I don't like work smarter, not harder, right? If you're just going to sit there and spin your wheels, there are people who've come before you who are trying to direct you in different ways that's going to get you more results than what you're getting by doing this other stuff. There's this romanticized idea about farmers markets and how you're not going to be able to pay the bills. It's going to burn you out. And I have told people this throughout the years, and I still see people doing it. What do you think? Are you one of the few? Listen, if you know that documentary, there's been several documentaries made on this topic. I'm not wrong on this. If you disagree, it's because you haven't done it long enough. There's some people who have that get up and go for a while, but eventually you burn yourself out. It just becomes too much, and it's like I wanted the homestead so I could have a slower pace of life. I want to be able to grow food for myself. I think people sometimes they come to my place and they're like, they look at my garden and they're like, wow, your garden's kind of small. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for my family. It's good enough to be able to have a little bit extra I can give to my neighbors or trade with my neighbors and stuff like that. It's fine. But I'm not building a garden for a farmer's market. I'm not trying to, feed the world. I'm trying to feed my family. And you can get by with a lot less. When you consider the chickens, the quail, the sheep, and the garden, I can feed my family with that. All things being equal, yes, sometimes you have failures and sometimes you have, issues that come up, but I can do it. And it gives me a slower pace of life. I have other things that I do in order to pay the bills, but I listen, guys, the stuff at the grocery store is almost outright poison at this point. You've got to be able to see things and learn how to feed your family. You're not going to save the world. Start by saving yourself. The airplane has done crashed, or it's heading towards terra firma. It's on fire. The engines have done fallen off the wings. And you've got to get that oxygen mask on yourself before you get it on everybody else. What do you think? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, keep in mind, we're going to be doing this giveaway. Giveaway. I can't say giveaway because there's a bunch of lawyers involved, and the terms of service do not allow me to say that. It's an award. An award. The Siegel Sideband Radio. You can talk around the world. Also, let's see here. Make sure you get these. I was talking to somebody the other day about these things again. These are my medicine cabinets. These are this content was written over 100 years ago by this guy, Dr. A.B. Howard. They're out of print since the 1980s, 1990s-ish. And if you buy these on Amazon, you're going to pay $800 for one, $900 for the other. This is absolutely fantastic material. This is my medicine cabinet. It doesn't tell you how to make tinctures. There are plenty of videos out there on YouTube land that tells you how to do that. This tells you what to do with them. What to do with them. All right. What do you think? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that one fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit PerfectPickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's PerfectPickler.com.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.